Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are joined by a truly unique guest, Mershen Ramaloo, an international banker, experienced musician, music director, and dedicated show promoter on the South Africa and global music scene. In this live chat, we'll explore his musical journey, what inspires his sound, his perspective on the evolving music landscape, and how he balances life on stage with promoting unforgettable live experiences. Let's jump in. How are you, Marsha?
Hi, Siddharth. Good afternoon to your viewers out there. Thanks for inviting me.
You're most welcome, and it's really my honor to really have you on today. And to get the ball rolling, Mershen, can you share your personal journey into music? What first inspired you to become a musician?
Yeah, good question, Siddharth, to start off. So, I've been inspired by my family. My late dad and his family, entire family, are all enthusiasts of music.
Okay,
They had musical instruments at home, and I've been exposed to it from a young age, and it just grew on me. I think I probably remember touching the harmonium before doing anything else, probably.
amazing. How would you describe your unique sound and what influences shape your creativity?
Yeah, before I go there, I think
Sure.
let me just give you a bit of a background in terms of
Okay.
what inspired me and my personal journey with music. Um,
Okay.
I was born in South Africa in Durban, so grew up in Durban, heavily exposed to the music scene in Durban, both South Indian, North Indian, classical, pop, devotional. It's mostly on Indian music scene, but I later learned Western as well. Um, After basically, working in the country for a while, I worked for a large international bank. You mentioned international banker, so I worked for a
Yeah.
large British multinational bank.
Wow.
I won't mention the name here. We generally not allowed to publicize stuff on social media, but it's the
Okay.
Red Hexagon Bank. People will know who
Hmm.
they are when they travel overseas. The
Hmm.
Red Hexagon Bank. So I was fortunate enough to be moving around with this bank, and they moved me to Hong Kong in 2007. So I got to Hong Kong after having a very active music life in South Africa. I was involved in performances as a show promoter, recordings, and all of that. So really had a very active music life, and then it suddenly came to a halt when I when I moved to Hong Kong in 2007. But fortunately, I was introduced to a band in Hong Kong. It was a staff rock band. I never played rock in my life, and so I actually attempted to play rock music, and I went for an audition. They tried me out. They said, "Okay, come back," and then I stayed with them for about 4 or 5 years playing rock music. And was a different genre. Also got involved in canto pop music. So playing Chinese pop music was something unique
Okay.
to me as well. Um, I then was moved to the UK in 2013 and then started playing music with some of the groups, musicians in the UK. I stayed in the UK for 3 years, and then I was relocated to Saudi Arabia, to Riyadh. And believe it or not, I started playing music in Riyadh as well. There were a group of musicians that lived in my estate or compound, as it's known in Riyadh, and we formed a rock band again. So it was back to rock. I'm back in the UK now for about 3 years, and now it's back on the Bollywood, Indian music scene. So I do a lot of performances in the UK currently as well. So that's sort of summarizes my journey, my musical journey to date.
Okay. I just want to confirm with you, the canto sound, is that the Chinese or what is that? The canto sound.
Yeah, Canto pop. It actually comes from the word Cantonese. So
Okay.
in Hong Kong, the language that's spoken is Cantonese, whilst
Okay.
the rest of China it'll be Mandarin. So there is a difference between the language. The language is spoken is different. The writing is the same, but in Hong Kong it's referred to as Cantonese, and in China, Greater China, it would be Mandarin.
Awesome. All right. I just wanted to confirm, have we covered the second question, which is how would you describe your unique sound and what influences shape your creativity?
Yeah, I think what shaped my creativity and influenced me a lot is as a young boy,
Mhm.
I started learning Indian classical music. So
Oh,
I started with the North Indian classical music. I was under the tutorship of Vivek Ram. He's a prominent sitar player in South Africa, lecturing in music as well. So he was somebody that influenced me in North Indian classical music. I'd also did South Indian classical music, and there was various people that influenced me on the South Indian side. Quite a few names. Apologies if I've missed out anybody, but I think I started learning music in my hometown, in my suburb, Reservoir Hills. The late Mr. N.C. Naidu had a music school, and I started off there. I then was under the tutorship of Kumaresan Chetty, who was somebody that trained us in Eistedt Foods. Karthikeyan Pillai is another prominent South African artist that also helped shape some of my influence in giving me some personal tutorship when I was much younger.
mhm.
Tansen Nepal has also been somebody that's always provided me with light and guidance, and I consider him as my mentor. In the music scene. So there's been various influences, but I would say the building blocks of where I started was learning classical, the Indian classical, both North and South, and then I later studied Western music. I went up
Mhm.
to not much. I went up to the grade 3 or grade 4 on piano. So learning how to read and write and playing piano much later in my life, and I think bringing those styles together on a keyboard, because what you'd see on stage generally is an electronic keyboard. So we play a synthesizer that synthesizes a sound. So on your keyboard you could be playing any type of sound, a violin, flute, trumpet. So it's basically bringing styles together. The South African musicians, when I was growing up, was largely playing cover versions. So we
Mhm.
try to replicate what we would hear, from the Bollywood tracks, or recorded music. But we were fortunate also, um, at a time when the SABC was trying to promote original music in South Africa. And I want to thank again Tansen Nepal for giving me the opportunity of being part of this journey of producing original music for young singers and lyricists that were coming up with their own songs. So across the linguistic groups, we've had people that were writing songs. Uh, the songs would come through to the SABC. They would select which songs are going to be recorded, and then at that time, Tansen Paul was a music producer, and he would bring the musicians together, compose the music, and I was part of that era where we actually produced and composed original South African music. And glad to say that this is still being played on national radio, and also it was recorded for television, so you'll see that on YouTube as well.
That's awesome. What have been some of the biggest challenges you faced as an artist, and how did you overcome them?
I think as an artist growing up in South Africa, in the early days of my time in music, obviously, platforms were limited, so you didn't have social media. Uh, it was limited to playing at concerts or private events. And one of the biggest challenges that I think a lot of musicians in South Africa would also appreciate is that music to us has always been a part time activity, a hobby. So if I had more time, obviously we want to improve myself as a musician. We could do much more than what we do, having a day job and then coming home in the evenings and trying to go for band practice for 2 or 3 hours. It's
Mm,
quite an effort, and I think those are some of the challenges that musicians, I think, in general, would face in South Africa.
true. What drew you to show promotion, and how did you balance that with your own music career?
Yes, good question again. So I
Mhm.
was moved to Johannesburg. Not moved, but I actually took on a job in Johannesburg in the 2000s, and when I got to Johannesburg, one of the factors that I that really was something that I needed to give much thought to is I'm going to leave my music behind in Durban, because Durban was where the music scene was quite big. I was performing with, as I said, with Tansi Paul, with the SABC band, and we were quite busy and active with music. And I went up to Johannesburg, and I knew that it's not going to be the same when I moved to Johannesburg. So we got to Johannesburg, and I realized there's a gap in the market here. So we're not seeing much shows, we're not seeing much entertainment. So I was a person who's passionate about music, and I said, let me try and explore the opportunity to do some big events similar to what we've done and replicate those in Johannesburg. So had not been involved in show promotion. I've just pretty much, I've been exposed to it as an artist, and so I decided. I spoke to a few people, got some ideas, and I was able to convince Sun International at the time. Uh, Carnival City had a venue out in Johannesburg in Brakpan, that's close to Benoni. And I basically had a meeting with them, showed them some of our production, and said, "Listen, would you like to do something in this venue?" It was a 3,500 seater venue, the Carnival City Big Top, and they said, "Yeah, why not? We want to try and promote the venue. It's a new venue. If you can bring in the people, we can have a partnership, and let's go for it." So I basically went in not envisaging what this would turn out to be. I tried to do in my way, follow the steps to say this is what I need to do to have an event, bring in the artists. It's like going back to my I've done an MBA, and we talk about marketing,
Wow.
the four P's: price, product, place, promotion. And let me see if I can tick the four P's with bringing this event together. So the place was Carnival City. The promotion was basically how do we publicize this event. So I managed to partner in with Lotus FM and brought them in as media partner. And that's something that actually worked well, because we profiled the station in Johannesburg to a market that they wanted to also penetrate. uh, Pricing was basically what the market was dictating at the time, and it was a full house. So the first concert that I had done at that venue was sold out, and for me that just encouraged me to try and go around this avenue and just continue building from there. And what we brought to the market was basically a music, dance, and comedy event, basically all in one. It was a family event where everybody got something that they like. Some people are coming to watch the dancers, some people are coming to listen to the music, some people are coming for comedy. You got everything that you wanted. It was a
Yeah.
very tight show. It was a 2.5 hour show that we
Okay.
packaged. So it was quite tight, and I think at the same time well enjoyed by people. Many of the productions were televised by SABC. I think it was called Impressions at the time, and yeah, we managed to actually build on that. So it was just taking it one step at a time, Siddharth.
That's awesome. What's the most rewarding part of putting together a live music experience for other artists?
I think it's the comments and the feedback that come back from your audience and your patrons. Where
Mm.
they really appreciative. As I said, Johannesburg had not been privy to those kind of shows that we had in Durban, so we were bringing most of the artists up from Durban up to Johannesburg, so they're getting to see people that they were not accustomed to. And for me, that was the biggest, to basically put in a production where you get that reward when people tell you, "Oh, it's great. When's the next show?" And you just continue driving. It's a driving force that helps you to move on and try and do more than what you were doing.
Lovely. From your perspective, how is the South African music scene evolving right now?
I believe the music scene is obviously highly influenced by social media. The music trends are also changing over time. Um, I would say the the pinnacle in terms of the change in music style came when A.R. Rahman probably came to the scene in the 90s, and he changed the whole genre of music and gave it a new feel. So it's a very Western influence, I would say, and that's the way the South African music industry is going. I'm pleased to see there's a lot of young talent out there, and we should always encourage the new talent that's coming out, original music coming through as well. So I think it's moving in the right direction. We just need to ensure that we maintain the quality and try to get people out there. Encourage, and I'll encourage other show promoters to promote new talent. That's something I've always tried to do as well. Where apart from just hosting a show, we should have these talent searches. I hosted Star Search a few times where we're trying to bring out up and coming stars, people that were not known, and we've managed to be very, very successful in promoting quite a few of those people as well.
Cool. What qualities do you look for when choosing artists or acts to promote?
I think it's again coming back to what we think the market wants. In a certain market, if the singer is basically got a hit at the moment, then obviously that singer gets priority, and we try to bring that person in. It's also trying to ensure that we give people a good balance, and so it would be a varied artist. So you're getting a bit of the dance segment to the group, to the concerts, and I think it's just ensuring that for me, I call it from source to distribution, because producing the music is basically the source, and ensuring that we get it out to the masses and to the people that attend is the distribution. So we try to ensure that the people that we have on are people that basically will give the audiences what they want. You're basically not playing for yourself as an artist, you're playing for
Hmm.
the audience. So you need to ensure that you provide what the people want.
All right. How do you prepare differently for your own performances versus promoting events for others?
Yeah, I think I just touched on that briefly now, but
Oh, okay. All right.
when I'm preparing for just an event where you're performing for somebody, or for an artist, where you're hired out to play, I think uh, we ensure that the discipline of rehearsing, that needs to be something that you have to be disciplined as a musician to prepare well, uh, with your practice and preparation. You ensure that your production time is shorter as well, so people should come prepared, knowing what they're doing. If you're a guitarist, you know what you're doing. If you're a
Mm,
percussionist, you know what you're doing. As a keyboardist, I should also be prepared. So it's ensuring that we put in a time and effort. And I think when it comes to putting an event together, my focus moves away from production at the early days, and ensuring that your framework for getting the concert out there, is well executed in terms of marketing. Firstly, ensuring that the right artists are signed up, then you ensuring that you're getting your marketing out there, and then I would probably, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, focus on production, getting the guys into rehearsals, into studio, getting the production ready, and we don't compromise on the standard, as I said. So it requires a
yep.
lot of work towards the tail end of that rehearsals, just before the we go to stage and we go to production. Yeah.
Cool. Is there a moment on a show, is there a moment or show that stands out as a highlight in your career so far?
I think for me, the highlight was when
Hmm.
I did my first international show. So I had embarked on an international show in early 2000. I brought on Alka Yagnik, who was number
Okay.
one playback singer at the time, Nightingale of Bollywood. And yeah, it was a very uplifting and a sort of a rewarding experience for me to bring down Alka Yagnik, put her on stage at Carnival City, and it was a lot of hard work that went in bringing that, because there's obviously um, additional requirements that you need to
Sure.
satisfy when you bring in international artists. So for me, that that probably stands out, and I think any promoter doing a big international show, that probably would stand out for them as well.
All right. After my final question, then I'll just get to the live comment questions if that's fine with you.
Sure, go ahead, Siddharth.
All right. What advice would you give to emerging artists who want to both perform and eventually promote music themselves?
Again, it's discipline. I think that's a key word. If you speak to any artist, whether you're a musician, a dancer, um, I think everything comes with effort. You
Mhm.
need to work hard at what you're doing. Practice. Be open to new ideas. Be open to new genres, new types of music. So try not to be too rigid in your approach.
Mm,
And obviously, time time is key to put in the effort
yeah.
and the time to artists.
All right. Now we'll get to the questions here. This is from Rish Jithan. Dear Mershen, it's such a pleasure to have you in the limelight again. 30 years back is where you and Priya take me. Watch you guys from then. How did you balance yourself with so much happening?
Yeah, I think thanks, Resh, for that question. I think again, it's all about discipline. It's ensuring that you have a balanced approach to life. So you're gonna have various segments. You're gonna have your working career. You're gonna have your family life. You're gonna have your music. You're gonna have activities that you do as a hobby. So it's just ensuring that you make time for these, and you prioritize what you need to do. So there's certain things, going to work and giving your best 8 hours a day or whatever is something you do. Then you just need to ensure that you shut down at the end of the day, and then you move on to onto the next part of your life. So that's how I basically try to ensure you are able to do and have a good balance in terms of what you do as a person.
All I gotta say is thanks so much for your time, and I hope to catch up with you once again in the future.
Thank you so much, Siddharth, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it, and yeah, we'll speak again.
Take care.
Thank you.